ఓం శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. అందరికీ నమస్కారం. You see, one disciple has asked his master with regard to asking questions and obtaining answers from the master. So he asked the master, Master, some questions often arise in me, and I feel that arising of questions is out of my ego. So that is one thing. The next thing is, some questions arise and I feel I know the answers, and lastly, there are some questions that arise in me, and I feel and I know that such questions have been asked many times before. So because of these observations and feelings of my own, I do not want to ask any questions, and I maintain silence when I am in the presence of the master. So this is what he told the master, and then the master has told him like this. You see, you say that questions arise in you, but you feel that because of the ego such questions have arisen, and so you don't ask such questions. But remember one thing, if you ask the questions, the master will hammer your ego, because they are based on your ego. Such questions are based on your ego. So definitely when you ask, the master will hammer your ego. So ask such questions. Then secondly, you said that some questions arise in you and you know the answers as well. So that's why, because you know the answers, you don't ask such questions. Here, remember one thing. How do you know that the answers which you feel you know are right or otherwise? You feel they are right, but you don't know whether they are right or not. So to know such the correctness or otherwise of such answers also you ask the master, so that he will clarify whether they are right or otherwise. And lastly, you said that questions arise in you, but you know and feel that they have been asked many times before. So, since they have already been asked, you don't want to ask the same questions again. Here, the point is, so many people have loved before in life. That does not mean you don't want to love your life now anymore. Similarly, so many people have lived before and are living right now. It does not mean that you should not repeat such living in your case. See, they are loving, they have loved, they got their own experiences, they have drawn their own feelings, and they have got their own manifestations in life. So, it does not mean that since something has already been there prior to your birth, you should not live again and love again in your life. You have to love and live your life to the fullest extent and derive joy and bliss. So, the master further continued, same type of question, it is possible, may be asked by different people again and again. 1,000 people have raised the similar question, but the master gives you different answers. He will give you the same question, but he will answer to all the 1,000 people in 1,000 different ways. It is like this. Once in the life of Buddha, an atheist asked a question, does God exist? I don't believe in God. And whether does God exist. Then Buddha replied to him, God exists. As you exist, God also exists. He left. Then a theist has come. So he has asked this question. He has told Buddha like this: I believe in God, in the existence of God, because I am seeing the world. He has created the world. So I believe in the existence of God. Then Buddha told him that God does not exist. Surprised, he left. Now, this has happened in the morning and in the afternoon. And in the evening, a third person has come. He told Buddha that he does not know anything about the existence or non-existence of God. I do not know anything. Please help me. That's what the third man said. Then Buddha sat for 1 hour in silence. The other person who raised the question, seeing Buddha in silence, he also sat in silence and closed his eyes. So after 1 hour, both Buddha and the other person have opened their eyes, and this man who has raised the question shed tears from his eyes and prostrated before Buddha, at the feet of Buddha, kissed his feet. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Then he left. So all these atheist, theist and the other man in the evening, the conversations of all these people were observed by Ananda, the close disciple of Buddha. Ananda and the other disciples of Buddha were puzzled at a different replies given by Gautam Buddha to all the three people who have raised the questions. So, in the night, Ananda, the close disciple of Buddha, has asked Buddha, we are not able to understand your ways and your philosophy. You have given different answers to the same question to all the three people. Why so? Please clarify. Then Buddha replied Ananda as follows. You see, the first man was an atheist. He doesn't believe in God. So he has raised a question whether does God exists or not. So he has got an idea that God does not exist. He wants my support to his idea of non existence of God. So I have to shatter his idea of the non existence of God. That's why I told him emphatically that God exists as you exist. That is the reply I have given to the first man who was an atheist. Then the second person is a theist who believes in God. So he raised the question, I believe in the existence of a God, because he has seen the world, he has heard that the God created the world. So from the hearsay, he came to the conclusion that God exists. So he doesn't have any experience of the divinity. So both theist and atheist were only thinking and came to their own conclusions about the existence and non existence of the God. It's a mind game. They don't have any experience. So I have to give him that their ideas were not in order. So I have to give them the opposite replies so that their ideas will be shattered and shaken, and they will contemplate and try to experience themselves about the existence of the God and realize the divinity. Now, the third man, he didn't raise any question. He simply expressed that he doesn't know anything. He expressed his innocence, and he has requested to help him. So that man is ready to listen. That's why how to describe God in a definition. Even I do not know about the God and the truth. When I do not know myself, how do I define such divinity? That's why I closed my eyes and kept silent, because silence is God, silence is divine, silence is godliness. So the other man who sought for help, seeing me, also sat and closed his eyes in silence. So in his silence, he come to know about the divinity, about God and godliness. he has experienced, and he could not contain that divine feelings. That's why he shed tears from his eyes and said, "Thank you," and left without any further word. He had that divine experience. So, remember, masters give the answers not to the questions raised by the disciples. They answer the people because people are unique. They come from different backgrounds and environment and all that. So, when I answer a question, I answer the question keeping in view the context and the person which, and his background, and then only I will answer. So there are different people. Maybe question is same, but keeping in view their background, I have to answer and I answer. So the context is very, very important. The questions, if you don't ask, if you don't raise the questions, you will not be getting the answer suitable to you. So, it is very natural when you go to a satsang in the presence of a live master, somebody may raise some questions and master may be answering those questions. But there are certain similarities in certain contexts and circumstances. So, somebody may be feeling shy to ask that personal question before the crowd. So, such questions and to such people may be answered when somebody raises similar question, and those disciples who are there in a similar situation receive the answers. But in all cases it may not be so. So, when there is a question and when there is a master, a live master, ask and get the answers directly from the master. If you read the answers in the books when the master is gone, they may be similar and they may not be universal, because that answer may not be universal. That answer is given to a particular devotee in a particular context. So, whatever the situation and whatever the feelings of doubt, confusion, all that, when there is a live master or when there is a wise person, you indulge in conversation with that wise man and get it clarified so that that will not be a stumbling block. I mean, the doubt or question, whatever it is, that cannot stand as a stumbling block in your journey to the divine. Thank you.